Yo, what up? This is D Knight, and you're listening to the Pardon the Insurrection podcast. My oh my, we've had so much going on. For starters, in case you missed it, we've got a new addition to the Pardon Pie family, Tara Dublin. Make sure you go follow her on Twitter at Tara Dublin Rocks. Also, pick up a copy of her book while you're at it. Make her day, The Sound of Settling. A very fun and interesting read compared to the things we talk about on this podcast. But yeah, we're heading toward the do or die time for the 2024 election. Go ahead and hit up joebiden.com. Get that man like $1 a month or something. Help his campaign staff up and get prepared to try and save our democracy. And make sure to grab like one other person you know and tell them about the podcast. Make sure they subscribe and tune in every single week. We got a lot of things coming up for you this year. We need all the support that we can get. So if you do your part and help us grow our audience, we'll do our part and help elect Joe Biden in 2024 and save American democracy. And this is the Pardon the Insurrection podcast. Hey, this is D Knight.
This is Carol.
You're listening to the
This
Pardon
is Ty. You can hear me.
Well, all right. Yeah, so Ty's here. And you're listening to the Pardon the Insurrection podcast. We got
the podcast where we often remember all of our hosts.
Well, see, what had happened is Ty's on a mobile phone, and she was like, "You guys go, and I'll just listen." I didn't know she was gonna. Anyway,
well, she was like, "What's up?" Okay, never mind.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. Yeah, our coordination is not great today. That's my fault. But yeah, you're listening to the Pardon the Insurrection podcast, where the joke has become reality, and Trump is going on. Even MSNBC now saying he's going to pardon the insurrectionists. Of course, we got a pocket pardon edition of Pardon the Insurrection for you today. Just get you a quick little tidbit of the news, the comings and goings.
Trump is going to be so disappointed after he listens to our podcast. He was like, "Guys, you got to hear this. This podcast is going to be great. It's going to have all the tips." Oh, what?
That's okay. He'll be more satisfied with the next one because it'll be totally about his interview on MSNBC on Meet the Press. That was absolutely fucking bonkers and insane. Hope you didn't watch that. Fuck MSNBC and tank their ratings, please. But yeah, so, before we get to the news, of course, shout out to our sponsor, Sheets and Giggles. Sheets so amazing that if Lauren Boebert and her boyfriend had been rubbing on our titties, while they were in the theater with the Sheets and Giggles sheets, no one would have cared because they would have been like, "Where'd you get those amazing fucking sheets?" Yeah.
What were they doing with the sheets in that scenario? Were they like
covering themselves up, Carol, so no one could see her rubbing the dude's dick, and no one could see the dude.
No one ever suspects two people under a sheet.
No one would have cared. They would have just been asking about how incredible the sheets were.
Oh,
and
right,
where can they get them to set? Yeah, they'd be like, "Where can I get those sheets?" From sheetsandgiggles.com. Get you some. Buy some sheets. Oh, and if you want a discount, we got some links in the show notes just for that.
Sheet. Let's start the show.
All right. So in case you missed it, Kevin McCarthy and the House GOP failed to reach a consensus on voting for a bill to fund the government. So, of course, the government's going to shut down in a little less than 2 weeks from now. And this is just absolutely asinine and insane because it's the Republicans' bill. And they control the House.
Or, like the 11th hour. I think we're going to have an 11th hour situation, but that's just me.
Oh, you think they're going to like wrangle something through the last second before the government shuts down?
I mean, I think they're just all full of shit and they probably want to get paid, right?
No. Well, see, here's the thing, Carol. They're going to get paid regardless. It's just a number of other important aspects of the federal government that will cease to function.
What about their staff?
Because Kevin McCarthy is the House Speaker, he can declare what is essential services and such. And if they choose, they can pay the staff even if the government shut down. It's pretty much up to McCarthy.
Whatever. Yeah, I still think they're bad faith hacks and that they are just they don't have the votes to do. They don't have the votes to pass their shit. They don't have the votes to like not pass it. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, so they've got basically a 5-seat majority in the House. If every Democrat votes to fund the government, all you need is 5 Republicans, and boom, there you go. There's your bill. But you can't even get the 5 Republicans because the entire party is in disarray. And really, the only reason this is even happening, I mean, I guess you can rewind it to the point where, to the fact where
you write to your congressman and demand he fund the government.
I don't think that's going to work in this case if they're Republicans. So the coup caucus is using the government funding to hold Kevin McCarthy hostage to get him to impeach Biden and do all kind of other crazy shit. But Kevin McCarthy's out here like, bro, this is bad for Republicans. This ain't a good idea. So what he tried to do was give them their impeachment inquiry to shut them the fuck up and get them to fund the government. But Matt Gaetz is having a little hissy fit. And he's threatening to basically shut down the government anyway, even though McCarthy said he was opening an impeachment inquiry because the Republicans are in total disarray.
Yeah, but like, I feel like he's so unlikable, even amongst his colleagues, Matt Gaetz. I can't imagine like more than a handful of people actually tolerate him or fine, like him. And then a few more tolerate him. Come on, you have to assume he's as unlikable to other people as he is to you. It's not absolutely. Just his politics. He's just like, ugh.
No, it's not even a secret.
No, he is such a fucking smug ass douche. Like so he just exudes like who's the guy James Spader played like in Breakfast Club and all the, like he's that guy. But, that people fucking hate.
But somehow worse and a child sexual abuser. But no, no one likes him. Like even in the Republican Party, like it's just well known. It's not even a secret that like he has no real friends. People don't like him. The only reason they put up with him is because
his one friend is in prison for being a child sex trafficker.
Well, there you go. So we're not. Well, there you go. We're probably not going to have the government funded anytime soon, unless somehow, Democrats can peel off enough not quite so insane Republicans to vote to pass some kind of, I don't know. Like, I doubt they're going to get a full funding bill. They'll have to pass some kind of half measure. And the real problem here is that, I mean, I just can't understand, like, if they don't fund the government and they have control of the House, it's going to make them look bad. It's going to cost them to lose seats in 2024 and therefore lose the majority because they only have the slimmest of majorities. So it's
it's like what 4 votes, like 4 that they have.
I think
they're up against redistricting in a lot of states. So
I think they have a 5-seat majority. This one House rep is resigning, so it's going to end up being 4 seats. And they're practically blowing their load a year.
And I don't think that fucking Katara is going to get reelected. So
Katara is going to prison. So unless they let House reps vote from prison, that motherfucker's not going to count. So beyond that, of course, we had a couple of breaking items over the course of the last couple of days as it pertains to Trump investigations. So in DC, we had Jeffrey Clark attempt to get his case dismissed by practically ratting out Trump, saying, hey, this document that I was going to write up saying DOJ found fraud in Georgia and they were investigating, with some kind of pretext to steal the election. Jeffrey Clark was like, Trump told me to do that. And that's why I'm immune.
And so that's the one who was like in his nightgown, right? When they raided him.
Yeah. So, his argument is that, he needs to get his case moved to federal court and that federal court should dismiss his case because what he was doing was practically part of his job, which we know to be total bullshit because his bosses was like, bro, if you don't sit your fucking ass down somewhere and throw this fucking letter away and we don't want to see your face around here no more and don't talk to Trump. And, he was trying to do that anyway. Like when your bosses are telling you like this shit is illegal, don't do it. Like that's clearly not an argument in your favor when it comes to this is part of your job, even if the president is telling you to do it. Again, we've talked about this Like
I was just following orders defense has never been so successful.
Not great.
Yeah, that's not really a thing. Like that, it doesn't work.
And in case you missed it, like he worked in the civil division. Elections ain't in his fucking job description. But yeah, so he threw Trump under the bus, which is hilarious for like two reasons. Either he was telling the truth and he ratted out Trump, or he was telling a lie, in which case,
and he ratted out Trump. The truth.
And it's just unlikely to help his case at all.
No, yeah, it's not going to go well for him. I mean, if Mark Meadows didn't manage to have his case removed of federal court, and he clearly had the strongest argument, which I'm not saying was strong, but of all the people involved here.
Well, yeah, because he was chief of staff, so it actually was like on its face, like not the worst argument. Like, okay, I could see where you may have, a standing on this issue.
Until you start looking at the actual facts. But yeah, this Jeffrey Clark thing is just fucking hilarious because, of course, like they've only been indicted for a month and they're already turning on each other. It's incredible. But in case
I think his lawyer thinks that's his best option, so he's probably fucked, right? I mean, I don't think. I mean, his lawyer made the statement, not him. Unless, I mean, who's his lawyer though? Is it Jenna Ellis, or does he have like a?
No, he's got a real lawyer.
Maybe it was Sidney Powell. Maybe
No.
he's
got a real lawyer. That lawyer probably thought that this was his best shot at the smallest prison sentence.
Sidney Powell can't represent Jeff Clark. She indicted in the same case.
Yeah,
she need her own lawyer.
Sidney Powell couldn't fucking represent a goddamn clown circus. Like,
so they can't make an agreement to all represent each other in court?
No, that's not how it works. But
I wouldn't be free to practice law if I guess I'd be.
I mean, you could represent yourself, but I think you'd have a.
I would still be licensed to practice law if I was.
Well, here's the thing.
For my trial, I don't know.
If you were indicted for as part of the same conspiracy as your co-conspirators, you couldn't also represent your co-conspirator because there'd potentially be a conflict of interest. It's like the same. No,
you
thing.
Could. I mean, I don't know if you could really, but
I mean, you could.
Be very stupid. It would be very.
Well, you would end up getting Garcia hearing like Bob Woodward did down in Florida, where we now have Yuscil Tavares cooperating once he got rid of Woodward and got a real lawyer. Speaking of Florida,
he got his own lawyer. He's like, fuck this shit.
Yeah, absolutely. Speaking of Florida, of course, there was another development in the classified documents case. You forgot about that shit, didn't you?
There's just so many cases against Trump.
You can't keep up with which trial and which criminal charges are what. But yeah, so there was a development in that investigation where Trump's former aide, Molly Michael, has apparently gone on the record with ABC about a number of striking developments. It appears as though last year in August, Molly Michael, who had been helping move Trump's boxes around, began to get a little concerned with the fact that the federal government, as in like the National Archives and whatnot, were asking for these boxes of documents, and Trump wasn't cooperating. And she was like, "God damn!" And then they got subpoenaed. And once Trump realized that the FBI wanted to talk to Molly Michaels, he told her, "If anybody comes asking, you don't know anything about these here boxes."
That shit puts me to fucking death. I swear to God. And I always say, and I keep saying it in my like Marlon Brando voice, you don't know nothing about these boxes.
You don't know anything about these boxes.
And I'm just picturing it as a meme where it says, no one, blank, Trump. Anyone asks.
You don't know anything.
Well, you don't know anything about
He was the one who took the pictures of the boxes, like in the bathroom and everything.
Well, she was like, he knew all about the boxes because he had seen the fucking picture. And then, like, of course, there's that infamous picture of all the boxes stacked up in the bathroom. And then they have like the curtain closed over the shower, and like you could see the boxes stacked up to the ceiling behind the shower curtain. It's fucking funny. But he's like, nah, there ain't no more boxes. But yeah, that's fucking witness tampering.
You don't know nothing about the boxes.
Nope. Yeah. So we got him clear cut on witness tampering and suborning perjury. I mean, it's just probably going to end up being another fucking criminal charge at this point. So if I just wanted to point out, like, if Judge Cannon weren't down there in Florida to tank the case, and I think that I talked about this earlier this week, like, we would be talking about this thing as like the death sentence. Like, it's so cut and dry, so clear and convincing, like, beyond a reasonable doubt that just like, you don't even really need a trial. The evidence is right there. You have the witnesses on the record, like, hey, here's the fucking boxes. When we found out there were surveillance footages,
the boxes are the witnesses.
Yeah, the boxes are the witnesses. And then if the boxes ain't witness enough, like, they got the fucking security footage, then moving the fucking boxes around.
Moving the boxes.
But then they got the
photo of box on witness stand.
But they don't just have the security footage of them moving the boxes around. They have the security footage of them trying to go around the fucking building, deleting the security footage. Like, how do you?
If you pitched that to me for a movie, I would say no.
It's too ridiculous. No one would even like. No one would believe it.
That's exactly like right now in my head. I'm like, you couldn't make this shit up like for a movie. Like, it's like some fucking like Three Stooges type shit. Like,
it's so
moving the boxes. Like,
it's so crazy. It's so crazy that they were trying to call the head of security, which is Calamari Jr., which, you know, of course, you might know from Trump's CFO being indicted in New York. Like, that dude was like, wait a second, this is fishy. Absolutely no one let anything happen to the security footage. And then they tried to flood the fucking server room. And he was like, what in the fuck? And then he had the servers moved out of that room to somewhere more secure. Because he was like, this is just, I'm out of this. We can't let this happen. This is crazy. But yeah, so, and then even more insane than Trump just basically telling, you know, his aide to outright lie to the FBI. Not only did he do that, but he was also writing to-do lists on like classified documents.
Even this guy was fucking president, dude. Like, this man was fucking president.
You got the choppy tie noise back.
Is the choppy ties back?
Like, what was he writing on those? Like, all right, so these are like these note cards that you know, government agencies would use to brief Trump, you know, before meetings with like foreign heads of state or whatnot. And they contain classified information. They even have like the classification markings on them. And apparently Molly Michael, who wasn't there for the FBI search, came back to Mar-a-Lago the next day, was searching through her office, found the cards, and immediately turned them over to the FBI. So, you know, apparently she's likely been cooperating for months now. And there's no telling, you know, what other crimes Trump's committed since that she's likely informed DOJ of. But yeah, after turning over those fucking cards, like, you just gotta wonder, like, what was he writing on those? Like, what was he asking people to do? Like, go to McDonald's.
I think he was like directing the hurricane. Something like Sharpie style or something. Because I mean, the guy can't fucking read. So I imagine that he can't really write either. So whatever he was drawing, like, it has to be like doodles and shit, because it like couldn't have been anything serious.
I mean, I know he can read slightly, at least at like a 5th grade level, because he uses a teleprompter.
No, I'm gonna go with 3rd or below. No. Because Jeremy's in 5th grade and he's pretty fucking smart. So I'm gonna go. Yeah, I've got to take it down a notch with that. No, he's
but
not
Ty,
that.
Trump has the best words.
The best. Person, man, woman, camera, TV. And I actually have that shirt I got from I think Aaron Rupar was selling them like at a time like when they had first come out, and like I had ordered one of the shirts. So I have it, and I was like, when I was moving and I was like going through my stuff, and I saw it, and then it just has like the like freaking like drawings of person, man, woman, camera, TV. I was like, yeah, I need to wear that. I don't think MAGA would probably get it because they don't read either.
Well, look, whether you get it or not, just the implication that Trump was bragging about passing a cognitive test and like those are the answers is just Insane. And then he had the nerve to challenge Biden to like a cognitive test and like a, athletic endeavor.
Can you remember 5 words?
Biden should have jumped on that and been like, yeah, let's do it on national TV, bitch. But of course, I'm sure
Shut up, man.
Yeah, man. Look, nothing was better than that presidential debate where Trump had COVID and was trying to use himself as a
He was trying to kill president-elect, man.
Yeah, he was like, if I'm affected, you're going to get it too, and I'm going to take you out. But nothing was better than when Biden got on that stage and told him to shut the fuck up.
Good God, man. Will you shut up?
He is like, I love Spicy Brandon. Like, Spicy Brandon is the best. Like, he's like, I ain't got time for this shit. And I love it.
I bet the media would immediately stop calling him old if he would just come out here and talk shit like that on a regular basis.
On a regular basis, right?
Yeah, but that's the moment. Exactly. That's the moment that I knew Biden won the election.
Where he's like, he wanted to fucking reach across there and fucking mollywop that fucker, but which would have been nice. I bet he could scrap.
And then he took Trump's job, Trump's White House, and his Twitter account.
He took his house. He took his job. He took his Twitter.
And now he's got Merrick Garland out here about to take his freedom.
Yes.
And that concludes this episode of Pardon the Insurrection.